Good morning and welcome to BOTB HQ in Parsons Green, South West London. My name is Christian Williams, a presenter here at BOTB, where we're here this morning to judge our latest Dream Card competition, which ran from the 8th to the 14th of June 2020. Just before I hand over to Charlie, once again, massive congratulations to the winner of the Dream Card competition last week, Jason Isles, winning the fantastic Audi RS6 plus £20,000 in cash. His reaction was fantastic. You can watch the video online at botb.com. I'm now going to pass over to Charlie Handsome from Onside Law, who will oversee the proceedings this morning.
My name's Charlie Handsome from Onside Law, and I'll be overseeing the judging this morning. Firstly, I can confirm that the competition data has already been sent to the auditors Wilkins Kennedy. I would now like to introduce today's judges. First up, it's Matt Cannon.
Good morning, my name is Matt Cannon. I'm a senior county referee and very frustrated footballer and really looking forward to Wednesday's start.
Thanks, Matt. If you could now use the secure link provided and mark on the screen where you think the centre of the ball should be, and then we'll come back to you at the end for you to justify your position and for a final panel decision. Next up, Peter Giorgio.
Good morning, my name is Peter Giorgio. I'm a futsal and football referee.
Next up, Ari Mendonca.
Hi, my name is Ari Mendonca. I've been involved in football for over 30 years, first as a player, now as a referee.
Next up, Leo Donnellan.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Leo Donnellan. I'm an ex-professional football player, having been with Chelsea, Fulham and Leyton Orient.
Next up, Andy Braithwaite.
Morning, my name is Andy Braithwaite and I'm a football referee, mentor and licensed observer.
Next up, Alan Goma.
Good morning, my name is Alain Goma. I'm an ex-professional footballer, having played for Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle and Fulham.
Okay, Matt, please can you justify your selection?
Yes, thanks, Charlie. My cross is the Red Cross. We have two players in shot. They're back-to-back, which is quite a strange position to be in. I've taken the player in the orange shirt to be favourite to play the ball. I think he's backing in. He's pulling his arms back slightly, which is sort of like a protective stance. And he's looking up towards the ball. His cheeks are puffed out. And I believe he's just going to head this ball. The player in blue is turning to face the player in orange and looking over the top of his head at the ball. And I think that he is trying to challenge for the ball. But I think he's not involved enough to be, in my view, be the player to play the ball. I've cross-referenced their eyes and I've put the centre of the ball where my red cross is.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, Peter, please can you justify your position?
Yes, we've got, like Matt said, we've got the two players in shot, one in red and one in the blue. My cross is the green one. And the reason why I put it there is I believe that the player in red, I think the ball's going over his head. I think he's misjudged it, and I think it's going to go over his head. And I think the player in blue realises that, and he's coming in with his shoulder into the back of the player. So I was in two minds: has the ball actually gone past his head, closer to the player in blue? But I decided in the end to place it in front of the player in red, and using the cross reference with the eyes of the red and the special player in blue, which I think is more horizontal than on an incline, and that's where the intersection is for my green centre of the ball where the cross is.
Thank you, Peter. Ari, please can you now justify your selection?
Yes, I felt that the player in red is leaning back. I feel that he's still the favorite to get to this ball, especially where he's looking. He's looking towards this direction. And I felt that the player in blue behind him his jump is not enough to is not going to be enough to affect the heading of the ball, and the direction that he's looking. I felt that the ball should be slightly lower than my colleagues have put their own crosses. That's why I decided to place where it is.
Thanks, Harry. Leo, please can you now justify your selection?
Yes, there's two players challenging for a ball here. I believe the ball, I've gone a bit higher than my colleagues here because I think the player in red, his eye line, for me, he's looking fairly steeply. I think he's leaning back into the player in blue, or he's moving backwards. I believe he's going to jump to head the ball. I think the player in blue, who also feels he can challenge for the ball, so that's why I put my cross a little bit higher. I think if you look at the player in blue, I think he's slightly above the player in red. So I think it's going to be quite a contested ball. And looking at both eye lines, that's why I put my cross where I did.
Thanks, Leo. Andy, please can you now justify your selection?
Thanks, Charlie. I'm the silver cross or grey cross in the middle. I feel that the guy in red is an attacker. He knows that the guy in blue is behind him, so he's basically feeling for the approach. He knows he's basically coming in behind him. I think they both feel that they're going to be winning the ball because I think it's coming at quite a pace. The guy in red, I've looked at his way his cheeks are puffed out. When I took my first line from his eye, I did literally a straight line from his head shape, but then looking at his brow, it's wrinkled, so it leads me to believe that he's looking slightly steeper. And the guy in blue, his line of angle is just above horizontal. But as I said, I believe they both feel they can win the ball at the same time, whatever is coming in at pace. And that's why I've placed the centre of my ball where I have done with the silver cross.
Thanks, Andy. Alain, please can you now justify your selection?
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. Yeah, my cross is the purple one. So yeah, we've got two players in the shots. I think the ball is coming towards the player in red, and I think both players are up in the air, challenging for the ball. Playing in red, it looks like he's leaning slightly backwards. So I think he's adjusting his jump. And I think he's definitely going to head the ball. The player in blue is jumping, strangely on the sides, and he's late on the challenge, but I think he's still fighting for it. And I guess if the player in red is going to flick the ball, he's going to be there, to counter the ball. So the player in blue is looking slightly above horizontal, and while the player in red is looking, diagonally, I would say. So yeah, based on that, I decided the center of the ball was, where I put my cross.
Thanks, judges. Matt, as the main judge, could you now come to a panel decision with the other 5 judges? And for your reference, the larger white cross is the calculated average of the 6 individual selections.
Morning, all.
You mean?
Okay, let's draw some lines up from the player in red stroke orange. Just got one eye that we can see. Ooh. So there's quite a narrow spread up from the red player and a bigger spread from the blue player. So I've just taken 2 eye lines for one from each eye. My personal thought was it wasn't as steep as Leo's, just because I couldn't see any white underneath this player's eye. So I've gone for sort of the middle ground, so to speak, in the middle here. I also thought, I know there's a difference. We have an opinion about who's going to play the ball, and I think this personally, this player in red is sort of running backwards, and he's going to maybe flick the ball on. And this player in blue is a bit late. He's a funny body language. Has anyone any thoughts? I mean, Leo, you went high. If I sort of highlight with the magnifier, I personally thought that looked high for the player in blue's eye line. I think principally because his other eye, you've got two eyes, and again, there's no white underneath the bottom of the pupil. And likewise with yours, Ari, I just thought that was slightly low for the middle of the ball. But anyway, Leo, what's your thoughts seeing everybody else's choices?
Yeah, I still feel the player in red, just for me, I feel he is looking fairly steeply. I also think, Matt, with the player in blue, if he's challenging for the ball, it's going to be maybe a touch higher because he's going to try and get to the ball. I think if it was any lower, he'd feel he couldn't get to the ball. So that's why I gave it a little bit of height. So,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair to us all as well, we've said this so many times, is that we're looking on one plane and the ball for me is in the front of the red player. He's sort of facing it with his forehead. So if you sort of rotated all the crosses around, they are quite clustered in a pack in front of him. I mean, Ari, you're the lowest, and if I highlight yours, have you got any more thoughts?
Yeah, I put it over there mainly because of the player in blue. I think he's looking horizontal, slightly higher than that, and that's why I went over there. And because I feel as well the player in red is leaning back, he's adjusting to protect his position, and then that's why mainly the reason was that.
Yeah, okay, because it's obviously with your cross there with the magnifier on it, it's very close to the red player.
Yeah, it's close to him, but if he's leaning back, he's still adjusting anyway. So I think it works as well.
Yeah. Okay, Alain, I think you were the only one that said that you thought the players were in the air. I hope I got that right.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Now, what I thought is, the player on the left is, is running backwards and he's jumping a bit backwards, and basically the player in blue is coming from the other direction. So what I thought is, he's running backwards to be there, where the ball will be landing basically, and he's kind of adjusting, his jump.
Yeah.
But looking at, I thought, the player in blue, especially for me, was in the air because of his body language. And it looks like he's jumping on the side, trying to nick the ball above the other player. That's what I thought basically.
Yeah, and Peter, you're very close to where Alain's chosen.
Yeah, I was in two minds really. If that ball had gone over the Reds' head. Well, so I can understand if someone had put the ball closer to the Blues' head and maybe just directly above the guy in red, but just using the eye lines and the player is backing in, I think, and I think the player in blue still thinks that he can actually get to the ball, and then I think he's using his body and his shoulder into the back of the player. So,
yeah, I mean, I was the same. I thought that the player in red orange, it was sort of having a protective stance with his body. He's like a forward that was backing in. But again, personal opinion. And Andy, you're just basically in the mix with us as well. What were your thoughts? Any more thoughts with what the other guys have said?
Again, as I said, I believe that when I drew my lines, I always take the direction of the head first from the guy in red or orange. But also, as I said, because of his brow, as you see, that led me to believe he was actually looking a little bit steep. And as you said, I feel that, yes, he is a striker, holding his ground, basically. I don't think he's off the ground myself. I feel that the ball's coming in. You can see by the way he's puffing his cheeks out. The ball is reasonably close to him. The guy in blue, the guy in orange-red knows that he's behind him, but the guy in blue is literally just going to come and power straight through the back of him regardless. And he's looking, to me, just slightly above horizontal, but very fixed in that. So I think we're all I think they're all feasible, all in and around there. To me, it's coming in at pace. The guy in orange doesn't know that he's behind him, but he knows, if you know what I mean. He knows something's going to happen, but he believes he's going to win it. The guy in blue believes he's going to win it. So, again, it's just purely it's led me through his forward brow.
Yeah,
You know,
thanks,
gives me
Andy. I
that
mean,
high.
we've got four of us clustered in the middle, and if we do, we took Ari and say Leo out, it basically goes back into the mix of it all, but doesn't move that much.
I don't think it makes that much odds, to be honest with you. I feel that
No, it just goes a little bit to the left.
they're all, including Leo's and Aries in there. I think they're all possibilities because, as I said, the two guys have got slightly different angles on it. So,
Yeah, I mean, the average does encompass four of us, and then just clips Leo and Aries on the far edges. So, are there any other strong arguments from any other judges to remove anybody, or try and persuade the other judges that they've not seen this correctly, or are we going to submit the average?
No, I think we should submit the average. I think we are fairly close to each other.
Yeah, and I think they're all feasible, Matt.
Yeah. Okay, so I think, Charlie, we've now come to a panel decision, and we're going to submit a judge at average.
Okay, Matt, thanks. If you could now hit submit. The coordinates selected are x1075, y1021. These coordinates will now be passed to Wilkins Kennedy to calculate the winner of the competition, and they will inform BOTB. That concludes the judging process. Thank you.